Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, this is Otaku Movie Anatomy, breaking down and reviewing some of the best and worst in the animated film genre. Is its power level over 9,000, or is it just another Yamcha? Find out now on Otaku Movie Anatomy!
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
Dance.
All right.
All right, welcome to Otaku Movie Anatomy, guys.
Oh my
She
God.
forgot what we were doing.
Play some
I totally
DDR.
forgot.
We got real excited about the music and she forgot what we were doing.
Welcome to Otaku Movie Anatomy,
Good.
guys. I'm your host, Yume Ninja, joined by...
You're joined by Jonathan Meza at Kaibacat. Haha.
And I am ChubbyBunny Michelle. Is it weird that we self-introduce? Like, maybe we should be introducing each other.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah.
We should change it up.
You know what? I'll do
Yeah,
that next week.
yeah.
I'll do that
Okay,
next week.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. New plan, guys. Today we're discussing Clam's Cardcaptor Sakura, the movie, the first movie.
Which is kind of a mistake because we should have been talking about
Yeah.
the second movie.
It was me, guys.
Is that
I
what
messed up.
that's we're gonna start off our show with? Sorry,
Well,
we ruined
so
it.
movie 1 is a filler.
And then movie 2, it wraps up the entire season. I totally thought we were watching movie 2, but we are watching movie 1. So we're going with movie 1, guys.
I mean, we can talk about both. I don't know.
Yeah, but get prepared for a riveting filler movie.
All right. So, the genre of this movie is magical girl / shoujo, and was written and illustrated by the iconic Japanese mangaka group Clamp.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, they started out awesome, and then they got what was it?
What was that?
They got mad with power.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
Because they started out as a Dojin group, right?
Yes, they started out Dojin group with 11 members.
Yeah, it's a lot. Now, how many do they have now? They have a
4.
whole.
They have 4.
Oh.
Yeah, they went from 11 to 7 to 4. 4 was when they debuted with RG Veta.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
So,
But now they're mad with power. Now they're like, we'll do whatever we want. We won't
Now-
finish anything. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
they're just like, we're just going to start a whole bunch of shit and not finish jack.
It's crazy. They have a lot of ongoing stuff now.
They do.
have,
Some stuff they
I
just
haven't
drop.
really seen
Sex
anything
Exalted is still
recently.
going. Tsubasa
Is that really
Reservoir-
still going?
Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles were like, we're gonna stop this. Oh, we're gonna start it again. They just started it
Yeah.
again.
And then the XX Holic, they're starting it again, and it's XX Holic Ray. It's a different.
Oh
my God,
I've
it's a
seen,
different
yeah,
girl,
all
the
different.
same. There's also Gate 6 or 7. 6. It's called Gate 6. I started reading because I was like, is this really Clamp? And it starts out exactly the same as like so much of the other stuff.
To
and-
their credit, the one thing that they have like drawn and finished is Code Geass in the past like couple years, and they've got a new Code Geass coming out next season.
They burned me too many times, man. Like seriously, I haven't even touched Code Geass because I'm scared. I'm just scared they're not gonna finish things.
Code
now.
Geass is-
But the
Code
thing
Geass
is,
is really good,
they
though.
gave me chobits, and that just it melts my heart. I love me some chobits.
When did they make the jump from like cute little girl like shoujo to everyone's gonna die or we're not gonna finish the story?
No.
Or do they start that way?
So they started that way. So
Tell me something.
All right, so let's just get into the breakdown of this movie. So
Card
Cardcaptor Sakura was actually released in manga form in 1996 and ran until 2000. The manga was their first like true stab at like magical girl and shoujo, because there was a Magic Knight Rayearth, but they always have these kind of like tragic, sacrificey kind of moments in a lot of them. So you have RG Veda, which is based on I think Vedic like mythology. It's like Indian based, like
Okay.
all of the.
I know I read it, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
It's
but
been so
everybody
long.
kills each other and dies. Then
Oh,
they
cool,
have
cool.
Tokyo Babylon, where the two main characters
yeah.
love each other, and then one has to like murder the other's
Mm-hmm.
sister or something like that. And then you have X, which they didn't finish, but in the TV
like
series,
almost the
everybody
same thing.
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody dies, but they have this tendency to have like this grim fate. Everybody fucking dies.
God, how long was X? It was like 15.
17 manga,
So
17
Jesus,
volumes.
Jesus, H.
Yeah, I was obsessed with X.
I know you gave me all the manga that you threw away.
You don't know X?
No, I never. My wife, this is all her world right here. My wife actually owns like I think
Get your wife
everything
on
by
the show.
Clamp. I know she owns everything by. That's why like even this movie, like I know I was like, oh, she goes, what are you watching this week? And I was like, oh, I'm watching Cardcaptor Sakura. And she was like, you're not watching it without me. And I was like, all right, fine, all right, I'm doing this.
Yeah, but Cardcaptor Sakura was actually, I think, critically hailed by a lot of just Japanese and American, the manga itself and the Japanese series. because it was just what they called like quintessential magical girl shoujo manga. It was very lighthearted, and it also had a lot of various relationships that were same sex and taboo, like students are in love with teachers and stuff like that.
10-year-old students are in love with full-grown men teachers. Lord.
And then later on in the series, a full-grown female teacher is in love with a 4th grader.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It happens. It's not
To be fair,
unrealistic.
she's in love with
Rare.
his soul because his soul is old.
Nice try.
You know what? I want to see that argument in court. I want to see that hold up
But
in court.
what was it? So we were talking before the show started today about the American dub a little bit, and how they changed so much stuff to
Yeah.
air on television. And
Hot
one of the
mess.
things they totally were like, no, was the whole like student teacher.
Yeah.
The first,
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the character, the girl, and then the male teacher. They're
Yeah.
like, oh hell no, they so old, no.
Yeah, that was just no.
The accent. There was an American-
But yeah, so that was definitely what Clamp was known for: same sex and very odd taboo relationships.
Yeah.
Again, it was one of their kind of light and fluffy mangas and series.
Yeah, nobody dies. Spoilers.
Like pretty much nobody dies.
Yeah.
They tell Clow Reed's dead, but
Yeah, but
he doesn't
he
die.
starts off
series,
that
yeah,
way,
He
right?
starts
I
off
mean,
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
her mom starts off dead.
Oh yeah, her mom also
She comes
starts
back
off
a little
dead.
bit though.
There's
in
like
the in
there's
the
like sad
manga.
moments, but it's very true to like this kind of like even when she fights like the cards to capture them, there's no real like
enemy
or
yeah.
struggle.
It's kind of like a Pokemon,
Yeah.
It's kind of like you catch a
Yeah.
Pokemon and then she
You
brings it
battle
out
your
later.
wills and your spirit, not
Yeah.
your and not against each other.
And it
Yeah.
was super popular because of the fan base. It was because Clamp was already established to have like older audience.
They were mad with power.
Yeah, before they were mad with power, the Cardcaptor Sakura series captured, like it was made for, children of that age. I think Sakura's a 9th grader, so she's about 10 years old,
10 years
9 or
old.
10 years old. And then they had fans like in like adult ages, like our ages, basically, both male and female.
Yeah, I mean the art, their initial fan base was older anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so they got new fans that way. But also the art is great. I mean,
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
what you will about Clamp being mad with power, as I keep saying over and over again.
Yes.
Their art is really great. It
Yeah.
never, even in that weird Gate 6 thing I was reading, it's really holds up.
Yeah, they're just kind of iconic for having just heavily detailed backgrounds along with their characters.
Outside of Tsubasa Chronicles, I did not understand the characters' looks.
Oh
in
my
that
God.
one. I thought they were freakish in Tsubasa Chronicles. They had like these long, gangly. I was like, no one looks.
That's always how Clamp has been, though. Like they
Yeah.
have like the
Psychology is
Tsubasa was
Yeah.
weird for me, man. It went off. I don't know. I remember.
I tried watching that too, and I
was
tried
like,
reading
no.
it as well.
I tried reading it and I
Not
didn't
happening.
It was
get
too.
past.
That's when, like, right around that time, I was like, "You guys are mad with power," because they're like, "We don't even need to make new properties. We want to take all our old characters and put them in a new thing."
Shove them in a thing together.
But they've been
It's a
doing
big
that
what
from
if
the
comic.
beginning, though. They've always done that from the beginning. Like,
But they totally, they
yeah,
totally
but that
were right.
one, they were just like, we're not going to create any new characters.
Yep.
Everybody from our entire world is in
They
here.
go from like a 2 of like Pixar level, like, oh, look at this thing we're talking about the other series, to like a 10 of we
Yeah.
don't care, rah, we're gods. We'll destroy everything we've created
It's
and
true.
make it anew.
It's true.
Anyway, so the first movie was directed by Morio Asaka, who's mostly known for directing episodes and mostly shoujo-based ones. He did Galaxy Angels, Chobits, Nana, recently Oremono Gatari, and
Ah.
he also did Claymore, which was odd.
What?
That's different.
Yeah,
That's
Claymore
super
is
very
super
different.
different. Yeah, so you have all these lighthearted ones and Cardcaptor Sakura, and then you have Claymore.
Wow. Very different.
The movie was released in August of 1999 and obviously was written and illustrated by Clamp. The story was actually developed by the leader of Clamp.
Do we know their names? I don't know their names.
Leader
it's-
of Clamp.
It's Nanase, I think.
She just goes by leader.
She's
Just leader.
no, okay. So these Clamp,
Leader.
okay,
Man with power.
the mad power. So she used to be called Ageha. Well, her real name, I don't remember her real name, but then she changed it to Ageha Nanase, and then she changed it back. But she's not the only one that's had like various monikers in Clamp. They all variously changed the name throughout their history. So I have no idea what her name is now.
Gods. We'll change whatever it is we
Yeah.
want.
The picture that we're depicting of Clamp is just like
It's like four women with a ton ton of power.
Yeah, it's like what? It's The View with like.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they are. The clamp is The View. That's what it is. If The View made anime.
But it's like
Manga.
I can't really remember the other two, but one of them is just called Mokona
Oh, that's right, because
Yeah.
that's why there's Makona and Ray
in Ray Earth. Yeah.
Oh, Ray Earth.
But yeah, they all have changed their names at some point. I tried to Wikipedia it, but it leads you like through different pages because
It's a big like family tree of names, but there's only 4 people. But this is all their names.
so this movie. Back to the
This
subject,
movie.
guys.
This movie.
This
Yes,
movie,
movie.
it takes place. It is definitely a filler movie. It takes place between the first and second season of the anime series, and basically what happens is Sakura has this strange dream. This kind of what's it called? You know, like a
Premonition?
premonition in the
Yeah.
dream
It
where
was
she's being
foreseen.
pulled underwater by some cloth, and then the next day school gets out for spring break because
I love your synopsis. You just
Remember,
kind
we just hit it all.
there's some water, and then there's school. No, keep going. Go ahead.
yeah, and so her and Tomoyo go to the store and magically win this trip to Hong Kong through unknown mystical forces.
The ball
was
is
magical.
magically
Yeah.
It was
pushed
magical.
into her
The
hand,
ball
the
just
wooden
kind of
ball.
flies into her hand, and it's like a golden ball. I like that in this part of the movie too. Like the chick that is working at the shop is like, "Oh, that golden ball. Let's see what prize it is."
Yeah.
It's like it's obviously gold.
Yeah.
How you been
I
working
wonder
here?
if there's any
She's
other
saying,
golden balls
This
in there.
may be a minimal prize.
But you know what? They did have to like peel out as many minutes as they could in this movie, and it felt that way at times. I was like, oh my gosh, like yeah, I understand this is like a long episode right now, and it's going on
But
and on and on.
We did discuss this earlier too. This movie's like an hour long.
Hour
maybe?
21.
Right.
This
right.
is the
21.
first movie we've done that's not 2 hours.
That's
It's
true.
like every other movie has been like, we have to make the 2 hour mark or we're not a
Yeah.
real movie. And it just kills me because like, there's no editing.
Yeah, I think it's because this is before the time when 2-hour movies were a thing.
Right, right.
So so they go on.
Okay, so they get
their-
the ball and she wins a trip to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they
Yay.
go to Hong Kong with just her and her friends, no father, no adults,
I
No
love that.
adults.
His
just
dad's
all
like,
teenagers
"It's
and
cool."
children.
Just
Yeah.
Big Brother, his best bro, her best girl, and they're gone.
Yep.
Yep, and they're gone. And then they run into Xiaorun and his family there, and his family is
Yeah, from Hong Kong.
Yeah,
They're from
there.
Hong Kong,
he is
yeah.
he is Chinese.
Yeah, he is.
And he is there hanging out with his family, and his mother happens to be a very powerful sorceress. Because they tell you.
It's not
No,
by
it makes
accident.
sense.
It's
No,
because
that makes sense.
his family is related to
They're descended from Clow Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
Wow,
actually
I keep saying it
makes
wrong.
complete sense,
Reed.
actually.
Kurau. Wait, what's the cut in Kuro? Isn't it Kuro? It's Kuro.
Kurao. It's Clow
Is
card.
it?
It's a Clow card.
Shit. No, I want to look at the katakana. You keep typing.
So anyways, so Xiaorun's mom basically warns her against all her weird nightmares that she needs to avoid water, and of course what happens is she can't.
And she runs towards water every chance she
Yeah,
gets.
she absolutely gets pulled in by a book.
Well,
It's a
they,
book.
later. First thing, she goes to the well.
Oh yeah.
That's first she chases magical birds with like full on glowing white eyes who lead her to a well, and she almost gets sucked into a well because she gets put in a trance. And then the book.
And then the book, and then they realize that
5 dream sequences.
yeah, there's
Dude,
like
there's
a whole
so many
bunch.
dream sequences.
They heavily push that something's gonna happen.
Or
Yeah.
they're just like, we need more minutes. Just,
Yeah, more
just
minutes.
Just one more dream, guys. Come on, let's just
She
animate one
chased
more.
the birds the first time, and then the second time when they took her to the book and she got sucked into the book, she chased the birds the second time.
You know
True,
what?
yeah.
You know
Chase
what
the
I don't
birds.
get the most out of this though, like, cause Sakura, I mean, her character is she's developing her like latent magic abilities, so she's not super powerful. But you have like Xiaoran and all these other people around her who are very magically powerful, but yet none of them can sense that this is happening. So she just kind of gets brainwashed every single time.
Yeah.
Rat hole. And then at this point in the movie, is her brother still pretending like he doesn't know? Or
Yeah, at this point, her brother still pretends that he doesn't know.
But he does know.
He senses it because he has.
He know.
Yeah, he
He
knows.
know.
Because there's that scene where they're eating the dim sum, where he's like, "Well, I want the
Oh,
one
yeah.
that
Right, give me
Kara's
that
in,"
one.
you
Yeah.
know. And then she's like freaking out, like, "Oh." But yeah, he totally knows.
Carol likes to eat.
Stupid Kara.
Kara's the best character.
He's adorable. He is adorable little sprite.
What is he supposed to, like a cat with a tail?
No,
and
he's
wings?
supposed to be.
Cats have tails.
Well, they call
Yeah,
it. They call him Caraberos, but it's actually the Cerberus.
Good old
Yeah,
Kara
Cerberus.
Bear.
Yeah, Cerberus.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, Cerberus, the traditional Cerberus is a giant
Three-headed
three-headed
dog,
dog who looks like he's gonna like murder you and your family. Kara, on the other hand, is the cutest Cerberus I've
With
ever
an
seen in my
Osaka
life.
accent, very cute.
Yeah, and he's like, so in the anime, at the end, Karo has this little show with his like very Osaka humor, and he like
Oh,
goes
yeah.
through the recap. He's so cute.
Back to the movie.
Yeah, so back to the new
She chases
movie.
this water world situation.
And then
Waterworld.
she realizes that they're actually being called by this powerful sources named Madoshi, who's been trapped in this other water
That's not
realm.
a name. That's just the title. Mado is like
Her-
Maho is magic, and then she is like someone who does. So she's just a magician. She doesn't get a name.
She has like a name in
Su,
one of.
Su Young.
Yeah,
Su
she-
Young.
They
is
put that
what
name in the
in the
English
in
version,
English
English,
version.
but not in the Japanese. Yeah, she's just Madoshi.
So
which
what
is
is it?
canon. In English version, it's not.
Yeah,
English version, go to hell.
So
I agree with you on
so Madoshi has been trying to call Clow Reed back to this realm.
It is cloud. I looked it up. Sorry, I doubted
See,
you.
don't
Because
doubt
there's
me.
a ooh on the end. It's crow. It's not crow. I didn't know.
well, I'm glad
Don't
it's
doubt
Cloud.
me.
It's easier for me, so I'm gonna go with that. Clow. Clow.
Clow
It's a
Reed.
Clow
That's why I didn't
card.
want to say cloud. It sounds kind of stupid, like clow.
Tell me more about them Clow
It's like
cards.
one letter away from being clown. I don't like it.
It is. I don't know why they chose
I
Clow.
effing hate clowns.
Like it would make more sense if it was Crow.
Crow cards.
You know?
I
Yeah.
kind of like
It
it.
sounds more ominous than Clow. Like I don't.
I'm
understand
sure
Clow.
you Clamp was just Googling. Like,
They're just like, let's just make up
They
this
didn't,
name.
right? No Google
They were
that.
flipping through an old
This
timey
was
book.
made when Google did not exist. That's right.
That's right. It was only Yahoo and web crawler.
Oh, don't forget about.
Wow, with the
Did they
Alta
have,
Vista.
did they have AOL? I mean,
it did. Yeah, I remember. This was the time they did it. It was
I
like,
think it was America Online. It wasn't in Japan. Did they have AOL in Japan? Someone has to tell me.
all right. If you guys are on with us on the
No.
chat, please let us know if they had
Japan
AOL
Online.
in Japan. I guess Japan Online, like in 1999. Did we have that in 1999 in Japan? I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
They must.
Okay.
They
That-
must
They had to
have.
have because I remember
must have gotten
1999.
the
I had
discs in the
AOL.
mail.
So they had their own version.
Well, they must have had something because we had like IRC, and I remember Japanese people being on IRC.
Well, I had the internet. Just AOL was a service that was just for
For a minute,
AOL.
yeah.
It wasn't like. I used to think that AOL was the whole internet. I didn't know. But I was. Well, this is in like 1990.
99.
99.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
99.
99.
No, it was earlier than that. I had AOL. It
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
for
I had
sure.
AOL.
Yeah,
right,
not
for
the
sure.
not the movie, but I mean.
I had AOL in 96.
Yeah, I was trying. I think I had it moments when I was in 6th grade, so I don't know what I
You know,
was.
I just want to talk about AOL for the rest of this. Like, I
Guys,
really do.
AOL and Cardcaptor Sakura just go
They're
hand in
just
hand. AOL.
Locked together.
But anyway, I thought it was the whole internet, and then I was like, "What's this little world clicky thing?" And I clicked that, and I'm like, "What is this?" The end. That's the end of my story.
Anyway, before we get too far off track, so
This
So-
movie really captured us.
I know
It really captured
it really
us.
just
If you're on the chat, I see there's like 2 people there. Holla, feel free to
yeah,
answer
just
our
holler
questions.
at
Yeah,
us.
talk with us.
Lawrence A, what's up?
Shout out. Yeah, so anyway, so Madoshi has been calling for Clow Reed, and obviously she pulls in Sakura and Shaoran because they both have Clow cards. I guess spoiler if you didn't watch the show.
Spoiler, this is the end of a long time ago.
They both have Clow cards, and that's why she thinks they're there. So they both have to tell her that he is been long dead. And of course, she freaks out and decides to capture all of her friends and is like, well, you're lying to me because...
Because
Yeah, she
reasons.
She
Yeah,
never
because
really
reasons.
listens. Like she
Yeah,
never
she doesn't
accepts
listen
the
at all.
truth of it
Ghosts
until
never
the very
really
end.
listen when you wake them from the dead. They're all super mad all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a trope? Is that a trope?
dead.
Are ghosts always mad?
Yeah, but you did bring up a good point. Yeah, like you should not watch this movie if you have not seen the show. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
It
Don't
doesn't
do
even
to
matter
yourself.
though. It doesn't honestly like it.
I wouldn't do it because you're just gonna sit there going, "What?"
It's true. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
there's
no.
no establishing.
No
Yeah.
point watching this movie without seeing the show.
You have to kind of already know the characters because
Yeah.
you just kind of jump right into it.
yeah, catching the arrow card.
Catch.
Anyways, so Sakura has to basically she first escapes and then has to go back and rescue her friends, and then realizes that the reason why Madoshi is having such a hard time and being so angry is because she was actually in love with Clow Reed and never had the chance to tell him. So she can't accept that he's dead. And so through Sakura's magic kindness and sympathy. She helps her
it's regular
realize
kindness.
this.
It's not magic kindness.
She just kind of cries and is like, I know what it feels like.
And that, for some reason, ends everything.
Yeah, and
she's
so
like,
Madoka's like, okay, I'll just release all of your friends now and fade away.
and the movie's over.
And that's it. Very anticlimactic.
I was so, like, the end of that movie, well, all you had to do was be like, I understand your feelings, and then everything's fine, no one's gonna die now, okay.
No, but Sakura had to, like, make the realization, even though it came in, like, the form of, like, that weird tear bubble memory.
Yeah.
I was totally unclear as if it was, like, was it her seeing it, or was
she
it
telling the story?
Yeah, or, like, was it just us, the viewer, seeing it?
Oh.
Like, they didn't really make that clear.
You know, Lawrence A., don't worry about, the movie too much. Watch the second movie, Lawrence A.
I know. Watch the second movie,
movie is
guys.
what you need to
Don't
watch.
even worry about this. Is a filler episode, a really long filler episode.
It was.
But it's cute.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's got some cute stuff, and that's all the show is cute.
And, and you guys did talk about how beautiful it looks. Like, there's some beautiful looking things. I mean, and for 1999, guys, this is like
For
classic 90s
That's
anime.
a year, not a price.
Oh, that's good.
And I also want to point out that they go to Hong Kong. This is 2 years after the English, like, gave back Hong Kong to China.
They were like, oh,
And
I guess we don't own
I tried to look up photos of the places that they went in the movie, and it was pretty accurate.
Even Bird Street?
Is that a real thing? Bird Street?
Bird Street. They go to Bird Street.
Has who has been to China?
They go to
Why?
Bird Street and she
Like-
sees birds and chases them. Like Bird Street. And I remember, like, when they get, okay, this is part of the film. So they're like, where are we going to go? We're in Hong Kong for the first time. This is amazing. Oh, let's go to Bird Street. And I was like, who the hell wants to go to Bird Street? Like, I go to Hong Kong.
Tomoyo is very enchanted. She's very like, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, that sounds like a place where you can get shit on my birds.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Tomoyo is like, oh, the birds are so beautiful. And I'm like, all right, thank you for giving me a reason to enjoy this, Tomoyo.
All right, I'll take that because I was thinking that.
She
like,
addresses the viewer's concerns.
yeah, because I totally did. I was sitting, I was watching, I looked at my wife and I was like, Bird Street? I was like, really? This is what we're doing? Okay.
It's like a menagerie that's free and full of illegal birds.
Illegal, that's what it
They're
is.
probably
It's
illegal
illegal
birds.
birds. It's black market birds.
Always black market birds in Hong
like
Kong.
The part I found funny too is like when they're in the bookshop and the old bookshop keeper is just like, oh, are you Japanese? Let me come out and help you. And it's like, how can you tell that she's Japanese just from like hearing from
It
afar?
doesn't. So the
Like-
book. So they just have this whole adventure of getting sucked into this book, and they're yelling. The whole place fills with water, and then only Sakura and Tomoyo get kicked back out of the book, and everyone else is still stuck inside of the book.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes down the stairs. Oh, do you need any help finding anything? And how did Tomoyo and Sakura get out of there without being like, we just stole your shit? By like, how? There's only one way to get out. How did they?
Well, he was coming from upstairs,
Upstairs.
and they took off out the front door.
Wow.
Yeah.
he was never in the bottom area to
This
begin
old
with.
guy, he could not hear shit.
Yes, I do.
There was-
we were down there. You speak Japanese.
It's basically the old guy who's introducing our show.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, is your power level 9,000?
Oh,
I
man.
think it's a Yamcha.
And I think
Stop
this
saying
was,
Yamcha.
this movie was Yamcha.
Real quick on the chat, Lawrence A asked, do you do other anime movie reviews? Yes, we do. Check Popcorn Talk Network's site. We did, I don't know, 5 episodes.
This is our 5th episode, I
It's our
think,
fifth
right? It's our
episode,
5th
yeah.
episode. You got 4 more to watch, Lawrence A. Get on it.
Yeah.
You should especially watch the one with Naruto.
That was a good one.
That
Attack on Titan was really good too. We were
Yeah.
so pumped the whole episode. We were just screaming and hitting each other and
was good.
singing about
Yeah,
birds.
and then if you want to be really depressed, watch our Miyazaki.
Well, that was
really.
If you guys have a paper to write for school, watch that one.
There it is. Boom. Actually, yeah, that was the
We wrote
most
your
like
paper for you.
informational and like politically
Yeah.
challenged review.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
When I was
Michelle.
in
You were all
school
over that.
at good old Penn State back in the day, I, as part of my Japanese major, they had some like ridiculous like anime class or whatever, or like studying Japanese culture through anime. And we had to do so many Ghibli movies, and that's why I had to watch stupid Grave of the Fireflies. Like, no,
Yep.
that's what broke me.
That'll
That
break
and
your
then
soul.
friggin' Gen, with the barefoot Gen, all World War II stuff.
Those are all rough.
I have those images logged in memory. But moving right along.
Moving along. Yes.
Moving on.
Cardcaptor Sakura.
Cardcaptor Sakura. What else to say about this? I'll tell you
No
what.
dead
There's,
mothers.
there's one thing I want to talk about when it comes to this film, and that is it really did give me like a sense of nostalgia because I'm from the 90s era. I'm a 90s baby. Well, I mean, born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s, and all my anime was predominantly from the 90s on VCR. And the music from this anime movie, from Sakura, is fantastic because it is the music of the 90s
It is.
anime movies. Like, it sounds like, and just go with me here, it's like upbeat porn music. It's like, know. So like the slow, like a porn song would be like, down, 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 down. If you speed it up, it's an anime.
Now I'm gonna always think about this.
You have to think about it when you
now-
watch this movie. If you watch this movie, think about it. When you hear that music and she's like running and chasing, like the birds.
Upbeat porn music,
It's
everyone.
upbeat porn
90s
music.
anime.
That's what it is. I'm
figure it
telling you.
out.
I was thinking something completely different. Like the opening theme song. There's always like these magical like trills, like bring and all the anime music. That's
Yeah.
all I remember from anime music back in the day.
This is having sex music.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But, like,
during the show, like it's all the music during it. It's like upbeat, but because it's not actually, you couldn't actually do it to that song. I mean, boy, I'm going too deep into this.
I don't even. Why are you having a rhetorical conversation?
But like the song itself, that's kind of like the feel of it, like weird, oddly. I was watching, that's what I was thinking. But then I realized all my movies from the '90s, all my series from the '90s, all kind of sound like that.
Yeah.
Like all the music in between everything sounds
Yeah.
like that.
Upbeat porn music.
It's kind of like upbeat porn music. And heck, a lot of anime from that era was basically upbeat porn to begin with. Mad Bull, Legend of the Overfiend, that stuff was nuts. If you don't, the 2 titles I watched, don't go into those with soft hearts, my
Yeah,
friends.
no, those, especially Legend of the Overfiend, that is totally not safe for work.
Yeah, God, don't watch it at work. Legend of the
NSFW.
Overfiend.
That's before they had NSFW as a real thing. We told each other like, hey,
know.
don't click that, don't click that, don't
Yep.
click that at work.
Not at
don't do
work.
it.
Not at work.
Sakura's okay for work. Although you should be working. You know what I mean? But, like,
Yeah.
should be
No,
working, but yeah.
it's fine. Minus the whole children being in love with adults and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the issue.
It was cute at the end how Sakura talks about Yukito and she's like, says like that Madoshi never told Clow that she was in love with him, and
Yeah.
that was, she waited too long and ended up dying. This is the spirit in the film. She ends up dying, never fulfilling that request of telling the man she loved that she loved him. And Sakura says, about Yukito, she says, someday, and it's really sweet. That was a nice little moment.
I'm like, don't do it, girl. Don't do. He's so old. No, he loved your brother for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't
Oh,
work
show.
out. It doesn't, I mean,
show.
that love angle doesn't work out in the end.
Sakura, haven't you been watching the show? God.
It's pretty obvious. Your brother's always with him.
Yeah.
They just best friends. That was confusing.
Yeah, they're they spend a lot of time together in their rooms, and then all of a sudden upbeat anime music plays in the back
Stop!
and they're in their room together.
All right, Jonathan. I think you're gonna cover characters and themes for us. For this week.
Oh yeah, I was already starting on that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice.
I was actually slowly getting in there.
Just all about the porn music. It's like I got.
Yeah, I mean, really, what could we do with that? I mean, what could we go over? I mean, our 2 main characters, we have, Shouran and Sakura, or Sauron.
In the English dub version, they changed Shouran's spelling into Shouron. SHOWRON.
Shouran. Which is terrible. And we've got a lot of love triangles. Of course, it's a magical girl thing. So you've got, Shouran in love with Sakura. You have Sakura in love with Yukito.
No, Shaoran's in love with Yukito.
Yeah,
at this
first,
point.
yeah.
He's in love with Yukito at this point.
Wait, at this point?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's not. He's in love with Sakura at this
No.
point.
He realizes it like way later.
He realizes it in the second
I'm jumping
season.
it.
Yeah.
I'm jumping. Okay, I've jumped it here. But that's the concept. So I've jumped the gun here. That's much later. That's gonna happen. Spoiler alert. Okay, and then of course we have our sidekicks. Sakura and Shouran has Tomoyo and Mei-Ling. They always hanging out.
Yeah.
I like Tomoyo because she's always videotaping everything
Yes.
with the old school
She's the best
handheld
creepy
recorder.
friend.
Totally creepy friend. But she's like her second cousin. She's like Sakura's
Yes.
second cousin,
Yes.
which is weird because she
yeah.
really comes off like she's really into
Is
Sakura.
it a second cousin?
Yeah, she's her second cousin.
thought it
Her
was her
mother
first cousin.
her mother is related to
Oh, yeah.
Tomoyo's mother.
Yeah. It's because they're. Yeah.
so
Okay.
it's one generation removed.
For some reason, I was thinking they were sisters or something. No.
Yeah, and like the way she is with Sakura may seem like an incestual thing, but it's not. It's totally not. It's just she just loves videotaping her, and okay, it could be.
Nope,
Like,
Tomoyo's in love with Sakura.
Tomoyo
She says
Come
it
on,
out loud.
really?
Yeah.
She's totally in love.
I thought that would totally be incestual because I originally thought that, but then I was like, oh wait, no, they're
Their
family.
second cousins is fine.
I was like, they
First
can't do
cousins.
that. That's family. Could they really wrote it that way?
Yeah, they really wrote it that way.
It's the love triangles at the beginning are Sakura and Yukito, and then then Shouran to Yukito, and then Yukito to her brother
Yeah.
Tomoyo,
Toya, yeah.
Toya,
Toya.
and then Tomoyo to Sakura,
And then Mei Ling to Xiaodan.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I backtracked so much because I was like, oh wait, no, they're family. I can't. That does not.
Mei
wow,
Ling
that
and
doesn't
Xiaodan
matter.
are cousins too.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it
don't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Clamp
Love
don't give a
transcends
shit.
It
all
make them
bounds.
even closer. Yeah, Clamp does not give a shit. Have you seen that? There's way more incest than that in other stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Brother and sister stuff. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, seriously, brother and sister. So all that aside, there's a lot of incest going on now. So all my things about the music make sense. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we get introduced here. We've got, am I saying this right? Yelan? Yelan is the mother? No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yelan. Is that
Xiaodan's mother.
Yes.
Yeah, Yelan, yeah.
Yelan. Okay, if I'm saying that right.
Yelan.
So we get to see, a powerful, magician. Obviously, Sharon, gets something a little bit from his mother. That's fantastic. She's a really cool, powerful
She gets
magician.
it from Clow Reed's side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His mother, right?
Yes.
It's part of their
Mother.
family.
They're all descended from Clow Reed, who is English, I think.
Yeah, his half that's English is
Yeah.
what? Who's someone related to him there? I know.
So he apparently was English, went to China, and then.
Like how they talk about he was half English and it was very important to the story somehow.
But it makes sense because England owned Hong Kong. I think that's what it is.
yeah.
Guys, don't forget, 97 handbag.
97. All right, this is also history. This is the great thing about the show. It's also a history lesson every week, it seems like. Let's see, who we've left out right here. Her Toya, her incredibly charming, sexy big brother.
He's the best.
He's the best.
yeah.
He's the best.
If you watch the series, he works everywhere. His whole stick is that he has a part-time job everywhere she goes.
But he only works that part-time job for one day.
One day.
And he's really mean to her, which really he pranks her all the time. It's really funny.
Yeah.
I dig when she was like, Dad was like, hey, your big brother's going to go to China with you. And she's like, oh, you're going to go to China with me? He goes, for 5 chores. Like, I'm totally going to, you're going to have to do my chores now. I'm doing this for 5
Yeah,
chores.
they're always bartering chores. It's great in the show.
Yeah.
And I think the characters that I love the most in this caught me off guard were Shaoran's 4 sex-crazed sisters.
They were
Dear
not
Lord.
sex crazy. They just thought things were adorable.
They were...
They were at like a 10 at all
Yeah.
times.
Yes, like they get introduced and they are at a 10,
Yeah.
and then they just like went up to 11. Like that was they were just crazy hot. They get all over Sakura,
Yeah.
and then they see Toya and Yuki do.
I know. Then they scream and move on.
Oh my gosh, it was
It's weird because
fantastic.
they're all like crazy, like bubbly girls, and then
Then you have
shout
like
out and it's just
he's like
"Ooh."
broody and
He's
like
literally sitting in the porch, like hands crossed, like leaning against it, looking at the ground. I'm like, Jesus Christ, be more tsundere, Sharon, Christ. Christ.
Yeah, and I dug that, and I loved all the little moments with them. We only got them for one little scene, really, but it was
Yeah.
nice though, because even like when there's like, okay, we're gonna leave. Oh,
That's like the only time you really get to meet them because he does
Yeah.
mention in the anime and the manga, like, oh, I have 4 sisters, and
but you don't really get to see them
Yeah.
until the movie.
I don't think I don't remember ever seeing them. I don't remember them at all. I didn't
That's it.
remember them at all, actually.
I
Just
never
in
go
the
back
film.
to China. Fuck China.
Yeah.
Fuck that place. It's only in this movie. I
Yeah.
don't like this in this movie.
Yeah, and the last character we're dealing with is a one-off of Madoshi. I mean, that's a one-off right there.
Madoshi,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she goes crumble when she finds out that Clow Reed's dead in a very anticlimactic fight scene at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with. It's a shoujo. It's a schoolgirl
plus
anime.
It's a kid's show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to deal with a lot of love triangles, a lot of cute things. Even Caro Severus is a really cute little character. Like everything's adorable, and they have absurd powers. At least there's no naked transformation scene. Like that's that's outside of that. It's really nice. I mean, what else?
Yeah.
What else can you go with about this? It's Magical Girl. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of Magical Girl. I've never been. I was in Nanoha. The dub, which I would suggest not watching actually. I always love, like, guys, I'm a voice actor and I'm like, watch the dubs, and this one I'm like, don't watch that dub. It was not a good dub of Nanoha. But even that one, like, I've never been a big fan of the outside of Sailor Moon, really.
Yeah, for me, like Sailor Moon didn't do it for me. This did it for me.
Really?
This-
over
yeah.
Sailor Moon?
Of Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm all about Sailor Moon, but
I am-
Cardcaptor, I just...
Yeah, I am the card captor of this table.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I got into Sailor Moon only a lot later, only because I was babysitting cousins, but I never understood it, and I think it's what it is. It's because Usagi is an airhead, and I hated her.
It's an ensemble
Yeah,
cast.
it is.
Yeah.
It really
Okay,
is. Thank
it's an
goodness it is.
ensemble.
But
We're not gonna get
Cardcaptor
into that.
Sakura, it had humor, it had characters I liked, and it was very, very lighthearted. I could be like, oh, I can sit here and just waste 25 minutes watching this. I think that's why I liked it.
Yeah, and Shaoran was, like, remember when I used to watch back in the day? I loved him. I really dug his character. Like I
Kind
like
of a
him.
little dick the whole time.
I know. I dig him.
He's so awkward the
He's
entire
I
time.
like him.
I don't really like you.
I dug him. He's strong. He's powerful. At the same time, he's kind of a d-bag. I like him, man.
I
dug
like his
him.
cool sword. I like how he gets
Yeah.
a sword and then Sakura gets her little,
The
wands,
the-
or stealing
the
wands.
key.
her bird
the
wand.
keys,
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Ceiling
She
wand.
found it on Bird Street.
It looks like
She didn't find it on Bird
we
Street.
are so hung up on this fucking bird
I
street.
know, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I realized I never put it together, but like the key, thing. It reminds me kind of like Kingdom Hearts, But this obviously came way before,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. And I realized, that's something similar
Yeah,
to
it's
Kingdom
done
Hearts.
in a
Probably
very.
like.
It's even like the way that the feathers are in this. It's a super like iconic clamp feather. The way it's designed.
Yeah, and it's been copied a lot. Like, man, I remember like early 2000s, you could find that little wing on everything, like products, bags, purse, like everything. Especially in the Lolita
Yeah.
fashion. Ugh.
Yep, because there are two types of clamp feathers, and that cute one is
curly
very
one.
much theirs.
Very Hermes.
Yep.
She gets him on her feet with the
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
card.
All right. So now that we're talking about magical girls, Michelle's gonna cover magical girls tropes.
All right, and just so you know, this is her bread and butter, man.
Yep.
It's magical girls.
This
Tropes,
is
tropes,
Michelle's
tropes,
thing.
tropes.
If you've never looked up this girl's wedding, go and look at her stuff. Follow her
It's on
and
the
look at
YouTube.
pictures of her wedding. It's the bomb. A full-on Sailor Moon wedding.
I had a Sailor Moon wedding, and it was fine. And nothing bad happens, and there was no judgment passed upon me.
But when it comes to magical girls, Michelle is your girl.
This is your girl.
So let's talk about magical girl stuff a little bit. So we all know there's tropes in everything, in all anime, all things anime. There are tropes, but magical girl specific, of course, this one is so fucking spot on. First of all, you have your magical contract starts. So if anyone has watched it's slipping my mind right now. Madoka. It starts a similar way. There's a little animal and a magical contract that's pulled directly from this one. And then also Sailor Moon, there's the cat, there's Luna the cat, and she doesn't say it's a contract, but it's a contract. She gives her an
contract.
item, and then they become, a magical thing. This trope has been explored in so many different kinds of anime and manga, and little Osaka speaking Kero comes to Sakura's world and is like, hey girl, you gotta you open this book now, so you gotta get all these cards. And she's like, what? I don't understand.
She kind of didn't even get a choice. She's just kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I guess it's mine now.
It's like the contract in this case wasn't her signing anything, but it was just, you have a mission, now you have to do it. Same thing
Yeah.
with Sailor Moon. Her mission was I think her original mission was to find the Moon Princess, because
Yeah.
she didn't know that
Yeah.
she was it. But we all knew because it was in the intro. That's the one thing I really hate about when I'm watching anime, being televised as it airs. When you watch the intro, you're like, oh, that's gonna be the last bad guy. Okay, look for that guy, and then
Yep.
they're gonna become friends, and they're gonna be in love, and okay, nailed it. All
It's
the
like a
stuff.
trailer that gives you
Yeah.
every piece of
Yeah.
the movie, and you're like, oh, great.
Because
I've
there's
already
always
seen the
usually
movie.
like that shot where it has all the characters, and you're like, well, haven't seen this person yet, haven't seen that person, so that person's obviously coming up.
Yeah.
Probably a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
with Sailor Moon, you have to wait. Well, with the original series, you have to wait like 40 episodes to meet everyone. But yeah,
Yeah, everyone knows. Everyone knows she's the effing Moon Princess.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly,
the silhouette is the same. Like, come on, guys. So that's her mission. Trying to think about other magical girl stuff. I mean, this is so quintessential because she gets powers, and she also transforms. Well, actually, she doesn't magically transform. She just gets powers because her friend gives her clothes. Tomio gives her clothes.
Yeah, Tomoyo makes all her
And I
clothes.
think that was a really cute way to do away with to give Tomio a purpose. Other than just being Sakura's friend, she's her stylist.
yeah.
Yep.
And her videographer.
Yep.
Do those videos ever make it anywhere? Does that ever come back and bite her in the ass?
Well, they watch him in the series. They go back and watch him, and
Right.
Tomoyo is super excited about rewatching the stuff that she captured, and she's like,
messed
"Oh, that looks so cute on you." But yeah, the only transformation kind of sequence she gets is when she has the whole symbol come out, and then the wand transforms. That's
Right.
it. There's no clothes changing or anything.
After Cardcaptor Sakura, there's a series called Camera Capture Tomio. I'm joking. It's just a joke. Get it? Because she captures
don't get
it.
any of Jonathan's jokes in
Camera
the show.
capture. Camera capture Tomio. It
Womp
works,
womp.
right?
Womp
No,
womp.
all right.
Womp womp.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Keep
Another-
writing to us on the chat.
Another trope that we already talked about a little bit is, you always got to be in love with senpai. There's always got to be, especially in shoujo, not just magical girl stuff, but just shoujo. There's always a young girl in school, and there's someone who's older than her or more experienced than her or better at her than something that she really looks up to and really wants to confess to, and
it's always first love, like your first love that you have to.
Hatsukoi, bitch. That's what they call it. Hatsukoi.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this case, her first love doesn't really pan out because that guy's like he's in love with her brother.
Well, that was an interesting twist.
Interesting twist. And then also you always have a love rival. We always have a rival, period.
Yeah.
But there's also, in this case, a tsundere love rival. So they took a whole bunch of things. So tsundere, if you know what that means, it's made from the onomatopoeia word sun. Like sun, it means to be kind of cold to someone, but then you're dere, like suddenly you're underneath it, you're kind of warm. So a tsundere is definitely Shaoran because he is super mean to Sakura at first and is like, yeah, you shouldn't be collecting the Clow cards. Only I should be doing it, and I hate you. Brr. And then suddenly he's like, oh, I guess I'll take care of you. I don't know. It's not like I like you or anything. So he's super tsundere, and he's a love rival because he also likes Yukito.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a regular rival because he's also trying to collect the Clow cards. So he hits 3, boom, 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 right away.
Yep.
Good old Shaoran. And so you always have the rich friend. There's always one friend.
Yeah, there's always a rich friend.
Is there always a rich friend?
There's always a rich
There's
friend.
always a rich friend.
Really?
And she sometimes has
other ones now.
bodyguards, and she sometimes has. She always has a big house and just like means,
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a magical girl thing, but it's definitely a thing I see
An
in
anime.
a lot of anime.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Or if they're not like rich, they're like the super popular friend who can give them lots of things.
Okay.
Like
People
even
all-
like in
yeah.
Sailor Moon, like Venus is like
Right.
Sailor V, and she's very well known and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know.
There's always the girl who's the friend who is the elegant one, where people like the Greek chorus in the background is like, oh, look at her, she's so amazing. Did you hear that her family owns this bank? Yeah, and then she's the one to be the next heiress. It's like always these people like fucking talking shit.
I love it. It was wonderfully anime right there.
Yeah,
too.
it was like oh.
It's true. There's
love that.
always
It's so true.
in Greek plays there's always the chorus, and that speaks the minds of society. So in Japanese manga they call it the mob characters.
Yeah.
Mob characters are the ones that do the same thing as the chorus. They say what society thinks about them, but out loud directly.
So that you know exactly
Yeah.
like what's happening. You're just like, oh, so and so's the heiress of this thing, and like, oh, or like she is the beauty of this high school.
Exactly. And
I really love this physical gesture, the like Shakespearean aside.
it totally is.
To the audience.
It totally is. And it's, it's a good way that anime likes to tell and not show. It's always like a negative in my book. But it's kind of funny. Again, it's a thing that happens all the time, so you kind of get used to it when you're watching anime or reading manga.
Yeah, and, it's that thing too. I'm so with you. I hate the telling, and I'd rather just see it and we're smart enough to figure things out. And I think telling kind of talks to your audience in a dumb way. But I think if you comment on it and sort of like make fun of it and sort of make it playful in a way, then it kind of works. And anime does that a lot, which and that's where make it a little more successful.
They do use it in a very serious way. Like that's the way of storytelling that they use. Like it's as easy for them to do that and natural as it is to make the best friend character a rich person. It's kind of like these are things that always have to happen. It's kind of why when manga artists go to their editors with their stories, editors tend to push them in a certain way, like to a genre. It's bad for them to kind of push too far out of, okay, I want this to be a shoujo, like who's the love interest? You gotta introduce a rival. You gotta keep it like, you have to keep things that that readers are expecting because they want that. So they try really hard not to let them go too far off and not have those things.
So that's why these constant themes are always
That's why tropes are tropes.
there.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's just like, well, this has worked and it's always worked, so you got to kind of stick to the plan kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love not sticking to the plan. I'm a fan of not sticking to the plan.
Because in stuff that like you see that doesn't really stick to the plan, like even like on Attack on Titan, it's kind of a breakout for its genre, and it has certain things that reference like mecha shows, and it's like shonen in action, but at the core of it, it's pretty different from like people die in the first episode, like his mom dies, like things that
Main
like
characters die. Walking Dead, like Walking Dead.
exactly, or Game of Thrones.
Anything Disney.
Yeah, it's
That's
very and very rarely do you see anything that kind of breaks that mold.
Yeah.
And yet, like, being as we all like anime and manga, it's kind of comforting to, sometimes when you get older it starts to get a little wearisome on you, But it's kind of comforting being like, oh, there's the rival. I spotted it. I found it. It's like you found Waldo.
Because you kind of know what's gonna happen, so you can enjoy it.
Like when she won that trip to Hong Kong, you knew her dad was not coming with her. You knew there was gonna be no parents on this trip. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be at a conference or some crap or whatever, but definitely it's fine if your brother and his best friend, who's also a boy, takes you and your friend who's a girl. Like, what the hell?
And they're all like six.
Right. Father of the year people.
Yeah.
The brother's like 16, I think. And so it's like none of them are adults. We're all children
this is not
traveling.
you can't even fly. That's not even legal. You can't just send your children away.
Yeah, heck, even Pokemon, you're like, well, you're 12, go off into the world by yourself. But you got a Pokemon, you'll be fine.
And that's another trope of the whole, like especially the magical girl genre, is that these young girls have to go on this adventure and take this responsibility by themselves, and their inexperience with the world is kind of part of the growth of that, is part of the challenge of the Mahou Shoujo girl. She has to win a battle, complete her mission, and grow up and fight for love and justice at the same time, and fall in love properly, and be a good friend, and all this crap, like gun buddy crap that there always is. Whew, that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
You nailed that one,
It's a lot of tropes.
You nailed that.
But it is, and then I think it's specifically because the writers, when they were developing story, they really wanted to just make a true to form magical girl like genre story, and I think they were pretty successful with it, considering how well it was received.
Yeah, Cardcaptor. I mean, it was huge. I remember being
it was huge
growing up.
Yeah, I mean, they brought it over to the U.S. poorly.
They just had did they have a 20th anniversary as well recently?
Yeah, it was last year, I
15th?
think.
Wait, when did it?
1998 is when the anime started, but 96 is when the manga started.
Because I know in Japan it wasn't like Sailor Moon when they had their 20th anniversary. It was like, it's the 20th anniversary, and now it's a whole new series and like tons of merchandise.
Yeah.
But in Japan, because Ray Earth also had their something anniversary recently, so they had a bunch of products out for them.
Ray Earth had their 20th anniversary.
That's what it was. So Ray Earth 20th, and then Asaka, because Cardcaptor has a bunch of little cute, like pens and crap out now that you can get.
Yeah, and it's you're only going to get more of it as we roll into 2016.
Yeah. So check Amazon, bitches.
All these I'm feeling old. All these 20th anniversaries. Evangelion just had theirs as well.
Yeah, that was our age of
Mm-hmm.
anime.
Yeah, the golden age of anime. Man, there was some great stuff around that time.
I think I've had this conversation before. I was like, we see it as, it's a golden age because nothing was really crappy. We just didn't get the crappy stuff like we do now. It's easy to get the crappy stuff
There's
now.
so much. Yeah, I mean, we're saturated with all the anime now. Basically, when you watch anything, even that comes out in Japan, we have instantaneous, viewership of it, by streaming. Don't do it. Yeah, but we do it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, all we could get was what was painstakingly taken and translated and put on TV and translated weirdly, or what we had to go to Suncoast Video and buy for like $30 for like 4 episodes, kids, okay? Do not be bitching about your $8 Crunchyroll membership every month, because that is nothing.
That's true.
Nothing.
It was like $30 for 4 episodes. It was. Dear Lord, that was expensive. I remember that.
It was cheaper for a dub than it was for a sub.
Yes, that's right.
And I remember that you had, it was like if you bought a VHS tape, it was $25 at Suncoast for the VHS, and it was like $40 like for the sub.
Yeah, and if you went to, if you happened to have any conventions in your little tiny ass town, you could buy. I remember I bought Sailor Moon Super S episodes, maybe like 5 of them on a VHS for $40. That was a totally bootleg, like not like just a photocopy inside the thing, and
it was like it
all came out of Canada too. That's why.
Yeah, it's because it came from Hong Kong. Because I remember, I have so many of those. Like I think I have like Final Fantasy X, like a playthrough from like on disc from Hong Kong, and the subtitles are awful. Like they're so wrong. But I mean, you had like fan subs too. Like you send your videos away for 2 weeks, and they send it back, hopefully, and you get fan subtitle stuff, which I mean, there's equivalents now, like that people still do like fan subs, but you can pretty much get stuff instantaneously, legally. So
yeah, it's so weird for me to be like, I pay money and it's just on my TV, and I don't have to do any weird, like I don't have to hop on IRC and try to find some guy who's selling it, or like
I don't have to stay up all night trying to make sure that this download goes through.
Lawrence A remembers the DBZ. the DBZ VHS. I love I love it in Suncoast because it took up like an entire
Yeah.
wall. The whole wall was Dragon Ball Z.
It made
You're
me
like,
so mad because
gosh.
even when it was airing, I wasn't into it, and I was like, "This is some dumb boyish crap." Like I tried watching, it, I was like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Never gonna
But it was
DBZ.
but it was so
No.
popular. I know someone, I think it was Lawrence, was saying, please do the DBZ movies. Before we got on this show, there was another DBZ. The recent DBZ
right.
movie was already covered. But yeah, that's just not a thing I was into, man. Like DBZ, I was just pulling.
I think
Sailor
it's
Moon
because
love.
it was
Don't worry, we'll
way
hit a
too
DBZ.
shonen.
We'll hit something DBZ at some
Yeah.
point.
At some point we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Wall.
Don't worry, Lawrence A. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
There's
We'll
only
do
so
it.
much anime.
Yeah, not next week, but soon.
Yes.
What
Not
was
too
your
soon.
favorite Clow?
Clow.
Damn it! What was your favorite Clow card? Someone was asking. Favorite card,
In the movie or in,
just like in general.
In general, I have to say it's the light and the dark, like because the two of them come together. There was like one episode where she gets them. The design, I mean, the design in general for all of the cards are amazing, but the light and the dark were my two favorites, just because you had like they were complete opposites, but also both looked cohesive together. They were just beautiful.
When I was a kid, I remember like one of the biggest memories I have is Sharon's time card.
Huh.
I don't even remember that
stopped
card.
time, and it was awesome. And I remember being a kid watching that episode, and he stops time.
Why does he
It's
get
a-
all like the crazy world changing cards?
That's why I remember thinking like I
He
was
gets
one
the
of the
boy
things.
cards.
He got
It's like the girl cards.
he got the cheat card. It was like a total cheat code. He was like, oh wait, time done. And I remember like be just watching this kid being like, that was awesome, like totally cool. So I'm gonna go with time.
I like the cards that didn't have any real purpose. Like was it Flower? It's the Flower one. Remember, it was like the third episode in. It was like very early on. I think it's like the second one she gets is basically they're having a school festival, the athletics festival, and there's lots of like flowers. And
Oh
then-
yeah, and then the flowers like just
Yeah.
flood the entire area.
And they're like, there's probably too many flowers now because they can't see. And then it's just a very kind card that just likes to make a lot of flowers fall from the effing sky. It's so pointless.
They had cards for everything, dear Lord.
did.
We-
Yeah, they did.
Like
But so in the manga, there's only 19 or 18. But in the anime, they're like, oh, we need to have like 86 because we need to have episodes.
yeah, it was like crazy. She's like, oh, I'm my stomach hurts. He's like, oh, here, have the indigestion card. Like, yeah, there you go. Oh, yes, thank you.
There
Can you
was
hit
a
it with
card
my-
for everything, and they're all really well designed. You can like totally like still buy them too.
You can buy all the cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
there's
they're
I think Emma has a cloud deck. we
Yeah,
have another
there's-
host here has the cloud deck.
Can you do
there's
anything
the
with
like,
it?
well they're
Yeah,
like
just
tarot
hold it.
card shaped and stuff like
So
that.
are you meant to tell people's fortune with them, or is it just?
I mean, can you tell it with the indigestion?
Yeah, with the indigestion
the
card.
flower
Let's
card?
see what card comes
I
up for
can
you.
tell your fortune.
It's gonna be a rough
By
night.
just thinking about it. I don't need
Yeah.
effing cards.
But it was just kind of like very cool designs between like Chinese Taoist and like traditional tarot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Lawrence A remembers the time card. Thank you. Awesome. I remember that one. That's like the one that sticks out the most in my head.
this makes
Boy
me like the
card.
worst.
It's a boy- it's totally- it's a boy card.
So favorite moment?
Oh, definitely before they get on the plane, her brother is like, when you get on planes, you have to take off your shoes. And she's like, really? And then so he totally trolls her. It is, and I laughed so hard at that moment. Because that is totally something that my husband would do to me. Like, it's something, because he is always trying to prank me with dumb shit like that. And so she before she gets on the plane, she takes off her shoes, and her brother's like, and gets on. And the stewardess is like, no, you don't have to take off your shoes. You can just get on the plane normally.
That part was fantastic.
I don't know
totally
why.
forgot about
It was
that part.
so simple.
I forgot
It
about
really
that.
made me laugh so much. It was like the perfect crime.
She was so sweet and innocent about it too, and just
Because in Japan, when you go into your school, you take off your shoes and you change your inside shoes, and
Yeah.
when you go into certain kinds of buildings, you take your shoes off. Not all of them, like not restaurants, but sometimes. And it's just I laughed like LOL, trollololol.
that's awesome.
You jumped it.
That's a fantastic moment. Gosh, I'm so glad you brought up that moment. I totally forgot about that moment. I'm gonna go with the sisters. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's short, sweet. It means really nothing to the film, but it was so outrageous and made no sense. And like compared to the rest of the film, it was this gleaming thing that was shining out, like and catching my attention, and me going, this has no place, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. That was like my favorite part. Like, I just remember like sitting there laughing and thinking like, wow, this is the most interesting part of this movie.
Yes.
Because they were like cackling, like it was crazy.
And then they were like complete like fangirls when Toya and Yukido come in. They were just like, ooh.
They actually go, woo! They scream, like the woo scream. It's great.
Hey, can you imagine? Like, I just think about like how it was in the voice acting like studio that day.
Oh my gosh, that had to be a fun moment for those voice actors.
Because you're just like squealing. It's like amazing.
Oh,
All right.
great.
So rating this movie out of 5.
Oh God.
Michelle.
I mean, it wasn't like painful, like friggin' Exiled from Paradise or anything.
Oh my God.
Ooh, Expelled from Paradise. Sorry, I forgot the name of the movie. Probably like, I mean, it's like a 3.5. I mean, it's not like like, oh, I can't watch this, but it's cute, but it's not. It doesn't make it. It's a filler episode.
Yeah.
But again, cute moments.
Yeah. Boy. Okay. So. It was a hard watch for me. I mean, the thing is, it was one of those where I felt like, I could leave it on while I do stuff, because it really was. It was a filler. It felt like just a long episode, so they had to put a lot of stuff in it. I'm gonna give it a 3, just a flat 3. I feel like if you are a fan of the series, you don't even need to watch this. I don't think you need to watch this. It's
serve any purpose.
superfluous. It's a superfluous movie, and so if you want to, all
Except
right,
for that
cool.
shoe scene, that was essential.
Except the shoes. Yes.
I want to give him
Yes,
that.
a couple
Tumblr.
key moments. Sisters, shoes, like some
Yeah.
really hilarious stuff. Outside of that, I mean, I felt it was unnecessary. So a 3 because it's still adorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, nostalgic for me, and there's a lot of nice things in it that work. But overall, just a 3.
So I'm gonna agree with Jonathan. As a Cardcaptor Sakura fan, I have to give it a 3 because
2 weeks in a row.
yeah, it fell so flat for me. I love the series, but this movie by itself was really like anticlimactic, and it was just kind of like, what the hell is going on, And other than the sisters and the shoes, like I was like, okay, this really there's no real value in it unless you're gonna watch the entire first season, so you know everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it, I was like, eh.
Yeah.
So maybe watch the second movie because it's the end.
Yeah.
The second movie occurs after the end of all the anime.
It basically
series.
wraps up the entire series, but this one, it was just kind of like, it's like a kind of extended Naruto filler episode.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah.
But thank the Lord Jesus, it
Yeah.
wasn't 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, there was something interesting outside the film that you guys were at, right? This weekend? Did you guys do something this past weekend?
Huh? Oh, outside the film, like not
No, outside the film.
In
Like,
real
you
life?
guys-
Wow.
Yeah,
In
it
real
was kinda
life.
Cool.
We went to Kamikaze this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I don't know if you nerds do real things in real life, but you should start doing those real things in real life.
Yeah, it happens every Halloween, so you get to cosplay and go trick or treat.
It was interesting. Last year they changed it to be on Halloween, and now it's on Halloween.
Yeah,
Just the
all the time,
weekend.
yeah.
And it's been great for like normal people to just come to their first convention and cosplay for the first time because they're just wearing like store-bought Wolverine costumes. It's really nice, actually.
Because we dressed up both days and we did a video with our friend.
You can see it on the internet.
You can totally see it.
Where can we see it?
You can see it at Super Otaku on YouTube.
Super Otaku.
Otaku.
Oh, actually, I saw it. No, I saw you guys.
Yeah,
post
it
I
was.
did see
It was.
It's a Drake video.
Pokemon Drake goes and does Hotline Bling at Kamikaze. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I did see they do that terrible Drake dance, which is just awful dance, and the Hotline Bling
know.
dance. Yeah, and he's just jumping from person to person.
Fun.
It's
That's
awesome.
fun.
It
We had a
fun,
good
though.
time. Yeah.
was cute. It was cute.
Yeah, but that's it for us for Cardcaptor Sakura the movie.
Yes. Next week.
Next week we are doing.
It's my turn. We're doing Red Line. Yes. We're gonna be
Yes.
hitting some space race.
Space
race.
Racing.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us, and you can find me at Yume Ninja online.
Yes, you can find me at KaibaCat. That's on Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff.
You can find me at I am ChubbyBunny on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube's, whatever.
All right, thanks. See you next week.
Woo!
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.